Hi guys. Alright, so coming back from Peoria now. Got my Natalie's Second Chance fundraiser t-shirt on. Anyway, so I'm listening to the Canine Paradigm. So I know I've posted about them before, but I really just cannot say enough positive things about this podcast. It's two Australian dudes, Pat Stewart and Glenn Cook. And they are primarily like working dog people, so like they do PSA or IPO or IGP or whatever the hell the acronym is, protection work essentially, protection sports. And you might think that that's not all that relatable to pet dog stuff, but it totally is. And I'd like to do kind of a discussion at some point on after I kind of have some time to think about it and really kind of articulate and make notes and things about how I wanted to talk about this. But I really want to talk about the difference and the similarities between sport dog training, like working dog training, and pet dog training. Because there are differences, but there's a lot of similarities. Like, they're my favorite podcast, and they don't really do a whole lot of pet dog stuff. I don't do like any sport dog stuff for the most part. I mean, like, yeah, I kind of mess around with Skylar and Pip and things like that, but I'm not really a sport dog or a working dog trainer. But I learn something from every episode, and I get something new from each episode every time I listen to it. Like, there's several episodes that I've listened to several times, and I get something new every time. And it's fantastic. So if you're a podcast person, please check out the Canine Paradigm. They're on Spotify, they're on iTunes, they're on SoundCloud, I think they're on SoundCloud. They're on a bunch of different podcasting platforms, so please check them out. They're fantastic. One thing that, and I've learned, hundreds of things from them, but one thing that's really big from them, because they are sport dog, working dog trainers, is the motivation. So they want their dogs, and Pat is a certified, or whatever the word is, instructor for Bart Bellin's NAPOPO school. So check that out, by the way. It's freaking awesome. It's dope as hell. And I'm not going to go into it a whole lot, but it's this whole training philosophy that's just off the charts amazing. But anyway, so they're working dog, sport dog trainers. But the big thing for them is motivation, and how they want the dog to do everything with heart and soul. So they want the dog to look good while they're doing all of their stuff. So, like, no matter what the dog is doing, no matter what training they're doing, they want the dog to be motivated. They want the dog to look good. They want the dog to do everything that they do with heart and soul. And that's awesome. Like, that is fantastic. And one thing that Pat says all the time is, that kind of checks off the box of the ethics thing. Like, as long as the dog is happy to do it and looks awesome and just does everything with heart and soul, that you're doing it ethically. Like, that takes care of that whole ethical argument. You can use pressure, you can use corrections, you can use motivation, you can use all that stuff, as long as the end result is that your dog looks awesome. And, like, at any point, like, yes, there's going to be some times of conflict, some times of struggle where the dog isn't going to look just 100%, but the trend should be upward. And I've talked about this before. So, like, in the moment, if the dog's confused, in the moment, if the dog has pressure on them that they're not used to, that's information for you to go back and do something different, or to add. I don't want to say to fix it, because it's not necessarily that you did anything wrong, but to go back and add to that, to put more reps in that bucket, if that makes sense. So when a dog is stressed, when a dog is not sure of everything, that's just information for you, that you need to go back and strengthen that. So if the dog looks good in what they're doing, then you're good. What you're doing is working. So just something that I've really kind of I have taken on board, and something that I really am implementing quite a bit, because yes, there's going to be some stress in training, and there should be some stress in training, because low amounts of stress, small amounts of stress is how you learn. like overcoming that stress is how you learn. So there should be a little bit of stress, there should be a little bit of struggle, but not very much. And there should be as little conflict in your training as possible. And that's huge. That's huge. I mean, yes, there's going to be some conflict. That's the nature of the beast. But it should be your goal to minimize that conflict. Like, you have to teach your dog to experience and to work through struggle and stress, because you have to prepare your dog for the real world. And in the real world, there's going to be stress, there's going to be struggle, there's going to be conflict. So if you don't prepare your dog for that, you're setting your dog up for failure. And I want to set my dogs up for success. So you have to put a little bit, a small amount of like carefully selected conflict, stress, struggle on your dog so that they can overcome that stress, be successful, and learn. So, circling back to the beginning, check out Canine Paradigm. It is fantastic. I listen to it pretty much daily. Like, I'm from Peoria to my house is 3 hours, and I've just been listening to that this whole time. So please check it out. Please check it out. Please check it out.